Hi guys, and welcome back to the Daily Racing Show here at RacePlazaMedia. Today is part 2 of our race weekend recap. Yesterday we talked about AMA Supercross, the Triple Crown event in St. Louis, Missouri. But before I continue, I'm Pia.
My name is Milan, and I will say going into this video,
Yes.
we tried to watch racing. We really did try. We put a lot of effort because we had some time on our hands, and we're like, okay, these are the events we wanted to watch,
Yes.
right? And we tried, but it wasn't in our cards today.
Yes. So first off, we tried watching Formula E, which was the Japan Grand Prix, which happened on Friday night, U.S. time. In Los Angeles, it happened at 11 p.m. It was a little late for us on Friday.
Yeah, I did also have work Saturday morning.
Exactly. So we were like, okay, we'll watch it the next day or on Sunday when we have some time.
Big mistake.
Oh gosh. Formula E, you don't make it easy for fans to watch you unless it's live. So we tried to watch it. They only had the highlights or the recap available, which we didn't think it was fair to watch just that.
We don't like doing the highlights because like anyone can watch a highlight video.
Yes.
Like we're just always talking about our like viewing experience too and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem very authentic.
Correct.
Of course, if we would only watch the highlights, we would like disclose that.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, we try to avoid that. We want to watch the whole race so we can
Correct.
talk about every little thing because sometimes highlights maybe don't make something seem as important or they might miss something that we would talk about anyways. However, we found out the hard way that Formula E, for whatever reason, publishes the full race for you to watch a week after it has happened.
A full week. Which
I don't understand. I would be really interested to see how many people a week later still watch the whole full race because you've had a week to get spoiled.
Yeah, and watch the highlights and get information and breakdowns and everything. So I mean, it was
because
just...
I already knew that while I was at work, I saw things in like my news feed about Formula E. So I just like, okay, let me not get on my phone at all then while I'm at work. But literally, it was like why would you do it a week freaking later? That's so annoying.
It was really frustrating because we were really looking forward to it. We talked about in our race news video about the kimonos, the special Liberty Walk featuring Formula E
song being there.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing. So it was definitely, we were very bummed. We tried, we looked all different. We checked on YouTube, their website, Roku TV, everything. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be available probably until this upcoming weekend. But we'll have so much other things to watch this upcoming weekend. So there's
like, why would you do that?
Anyways,
so then, so this is actually wild. I got clickbaited so hard. So we were like, okay, well, we want to watch something else to talk about in the second video, right? And then so we originally wanted to watch the World Rally Championship in Kenya.
Yes.
And then the fucking app, bro. It is like, I can't believe that like a month and a half ago we sat here and praised that bullshit.
I know.
When it's the biggest nonsense. And they sent me also an email. It's like, hey, yeah, everything's overhauled and everything's new and great. And like, no, your shit doesn't fucking work, bro.
It's so frustrating because we love Rally. We fell in love with Rally earlier this year.
I'm so angry. I dropped something.
And we just really enjoy it. But the app just makes it so hard to, first of all, find whatever rally is currently happening. Then eventually you find it, but then as soon as you're in the rally itself, they first give you just like little 30-second videos. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch a 30-second video. I want to watch the full stage. But then it freezes, and then it crashes, and then it does it again. So we ended up we did end up watching some of it. We'll get back into that in just a moment. So in the meantime,
I got a notification that there was this French driver for the Formula 4 in France ended up getting pole positions back to back for the races. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Let's watch that.
Yes.
Also, that was on our calendar. I just didn't have it on my thing. So I was like, perfect. Let's watch this. So
because it's also on YouTube, it's free to watch. You can rewatch it immediately, Formula E.
Exactly. And then I was like, okay, let's watch it. We got some food ready. We got dinner ready. And then God. And then, so it was at Nagaro track in France, and it was raining a lot. So then so the races for Formula 4 are just 20 minutes.
Yes.
And then, so it started off under the safety car, right? Because it was a lot of rain on the track.
I mean, you could barely, you saw, of course, the first driver, but then even with the safety car, when they're driving slow speeds, you could barely see anybody coming behind them because of all the spray. It was just like this wall of.
And then suddenly a car popped
Exactly.
up. Yeah.
It was definitely scary looking.
Yeah.
So I understand why they started. I mean, I didn't know why they started with a safety car. I would imagine usually they just delay it, but I'm sure maybe it wasn't possible.
So I think the reason why it was not
But
possible.
then, continue with
And
Formula
so then
4
I was
first.
like, okay. So then eventually, so this video is like maybe on YouTube it's like a 26-minute video. So I was like, okay, what also doesn't help, but it didn't bother me, is that all for the French Formula 4, all the commentating is in French.
Yes.
Right. So we're like, okay, we're not gonna gain any information from this. Let's just fast forward a little bit, right? And then we fast forwarded, and we fast forwarded. And then we fast forward, and then it just says like race will not be continued. So I got clickbaited so hard by this article about this dude taking pole position and all this stuff, and then like no race happened.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God. Okay. So then we were like, okay, let's watch something else. And I was like,
Yes.
okay, perfect. On YouTube, we have the Renault
Clio
Cup series racing. Perfect. Renault being a French company, I was like, okay, perfect. We get some French racing in there.
And we just learned also, I had talked about it briefly in the Dorian Pin video, because she had competed in the Renault Clio Cup previously, or it's one of the first kind of car racing experiences that she had. So I was like, oh, okay, perfect. We get to watch it.
And then guess where the race was? It was also in Nagaro or Nagaro. I always want to say Nagano, which is the ski jumping ramp in Japan.
Yes.
And so there was a lot of rain, and then guess what, guys? The race started during a safety car, under a safety car. So that one was how many minutes?
It's 25 minutes plus a lap. So it started off with the safety car. However, it did look a lot lighter. The rain, there was a beautiful rainbow, which was really, really cute. And it was quite busy. There was a lot of people in the audience from what we saw.
But if you saw the cars racing, or just driving on the track, you saw there was a lot of water still on the track, which was not helpful. So then for the first like 10 minutes, there was a safety car.
Yes.
And then starting 14 minutes and 29 seconds, we had the race actually started.
Yeah, safety car went in, the race started, and it was, I mean, also really impressive.
You started yelling about
Oh my gosh, yes, because I mean, it already looked like a lot of cars on the track. The Renault Clio is just a small car.
It's like the size of maybe a Toyota Yaris, you could say.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say too. And then so it looked like a lot of cars. And I was like, oh, how many cars is it? Then it was like, oh, 22. Oh, it's 35. Oh, it's 40. It's 42 cars on the racetrack. I was like, that's insane.
That's a lot of cars. No matter how small they are, that's a lot of cars.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the race started, and immediately there was some movement, people trying to pass, of course, because, I mean, you also don't know, is it going to stay like safe? Is there going to be another safety car because
I called the safety car. It was like 40 seconds in another safety car. Fortunately, that didn't happen.
No, but there was a little bit of action happening on the track. So I would definitely want to watch another Renault Clio Cup. Yes.
Also, I wanted to say, you pointed that out. They sound really dope.
They do. They have a really nice sound, which I really appreciate. I mean, we
100%.
do appreciate a nice sound. But I also thought it was really cool that they have 3 classes in there, essentially, which we learned about. So they have the gentleman class,
So this one.
rude, which is anybody born 1979 or before that. Then
Who hasn't won?
Who hasn't won within the last years and hasn't been like, there's certain regulations about it, but so essentially,
It's like you can't be like an active racer, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe like more
exactly.
like if you're like more casual.
yeah, exactly. So 1979 or older. Then there's the champion class, which
For
is
my age group.
shut up, is 1979 to 2000, and then there's the Juniors Cup for anybody who's born 2001 or fresher, younger.
I will say, not to offend anyone in the audience, right?
Yeah.
But if you're born 2000, you're 24.
Oh.
You're 24. You're not that junior anymore, right? And I say this with a crying heart because I'm not born 2000.
Definitely not.
But I just thought it was funny that that's how
Yes.
it's categorized.
Exactly, but it was also cool to see that there's such a wide age range in the Renault
In those
Clio Cup.
42 cars.
Yeah, I mean it was really cool to see. We did have some action. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but several people went off track. There was some minor collisions. We saw, I think, one or two mirrors on the side
Bent.
kind of bend,
Which makes sense because
do-
sometimes these MFers, they go 3 wide and it's wet. Guys, you guys need to chill. But I guess you're like, listen, I'm racing.
I
I'm
mean,
racing
it's
now.
all in, yeah, because
Yeah.
you don't know how much time you have in the race. And then
And
7 minutes into the actual race, another safety car, because first there was one person off the track, and then suddenly we see another person off this track. Then we saw another
it seems
person
like people,
off the
I don't know
track.
if the thing about this is a low, like, not so
budget, yeah.
lower budget broadcast, so you don't really get replays.
Yes.
So we don't know if they went off during the safety car or before, because a lot of the cars we ended up seeing that were crashed out was kind of like during the safety car phase.
Yeah, at least we saw them during the safety car phase.
But to be fair, you also saw people because you have to like maintain like quote unquote a delta.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to maintain a minimum speed behind the safety car. And the safety car obviously goes at a certain pace. And you saw them racing around, and still people were like kind of like, like they were losing maybe the front or maybe the rear. I mean, this also is like probably a combination of having a lot of more like maybe amateur drivers, and then also like the track conditions being very, very, very difficult. And it was really also unfortunate that so they ended up calling the race then.
Yeah.
They red flagged it, or they red flagged it essentially 34 seconds before end.
I was like, why didn't they just finish?
But they ended up then just be like, okay, that's done.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say though, it's very unfortunate then if you once you got to like the podium ceremony, that the weather ended up starting really lighten up. So if they would have maybe started the race 30 minutes later, they would have been able to race a complete race.
That's true. But I think there was a bunch of different types of races happening that weekend. So that's why
maybe they didn't have that.
They didn't have the time allowance for it. But I feel like now seeing it, I would definitely recommend watching it. I would totally watch it again.
It's free, guys.
Yeah. Let us also know if you want us to break down the Renault Clio Cup, like the actual series. If you want a little bit more about it, we can do a what, when, where video on it if there's interest for it out there. So let us know in the comments.
And sorry. And then
go for it.
Okay, good. And it's also like it wasn't a big deal to either of us that it was only in French. Like it didn't bother me because we're trying to watch is racing anyways.
Yes.
So it doesn't really matter that much.
However, I was very much impressed. There was one commentator.
That was for Formula 4 though.
But
was it the same commentator?
I don't know if it was the same person, but they spoke nonstop for the whole time it was on. They took barely any breaths and just like I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like you said, it didn't bother me. We tuned it out. You could still hear the cars. It was not overwhelming. You had moments where like when he said something and you're like, oh, maybe we're about to start racing, and that's when it happens. So it's like, okay, so
yeah, something like that.
So, but yeah, definitely check it out. You can watch it on YouTube. I believe all of their races are on YouTube. You can watch the older ones or the upcoming ones. We have a couple upcoming ones also in April. So you'll definitely will be will be able to check those out. But moving on, we already shat all over Rally TV.
Yeah, because it sucks.
Yeah, so we ended up watching it.
But the racers are dope.
On your phone.
Yeah, so we ended up watching on my phone, guys. Get real. On my fucking phone, I had to watch it.
Yes. I mean, you have a flip phone, so the screen is a little bit bigger. And it's good quality. I mean, and the scenery, it was in Kenya. Gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. Like Kenya, wow, what a beautiful, beautiful country. I mean, I expected it to be like visually incredibly pleasing to watch. I do want to say though, before we actually talk about this, I've used the rally website,
Mhm.
and I don't recall having severe issues like I have on the phone app or on the TV app.
Mhm.
So I think the website is probably your safest bet. And
Mhm.
if you can maybe cast the website onto like a bigger screen or just watch it directly on your monitor or something like that,
Yeah.
that is probably your best bet. But
Yes.
as of right now, for the Android app and for
Mhm.
the smart TV app we have a Samsung TV, but like probably any TV,
Mhm.
it's a very rough experience.
Yes, and I mean we love it. We love rally, and that's why we're still committed to watch it, and we will
Mhm.
still watch it because it's just such an amazing race sport. So we ended up watching it on a cell phone because we really wanted to
Mhm.
watch it. And yeah, what an incredible race. We ended up just watching
Stage 19.
the power stage at the end. We did peek in I think it was yesterday
Mhm.
for a couple minutes.
Stage 6.
I think it was stage 6, but
Mhm.
then the app froze and died on us, so we gave up yesterday. But we
Mhm.
did watch the whole power stage today, and yeah, a beautiful, beautiful scenery. I mean, it just also makes me want to go to Kenya and just see it in person.
I mean, also I don't want to hate on Sweden or
Oh, not at
Monte
all.
Carlo or something like that, but by far I think like Kenya's so beautiful.
Yeah, but I also was thinking as we were watching it, like how lucky those rally drivers and
Mhm.
teams are that they get to go to Monte Carlo, they get to go to Sweden, they get to go to Kenya. Next stop is going to be in Croatia.
Sorry, did I say Monaco again? Monaco? If I did, I apologize.
Why?
Did I say? Oh, maybe I didn't say any name. I said Sweden and the other one. Maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry.
It's fine. But yeah, I mean, how lucky are they that they
Mhm.
get to travel the world and see those
Mhm.
beautiful places and get to race and work there. So I'm a little jelly. But yeah, so it was definitely a really fun. Even the last stage was really interesting to see. Kalle Rovanperä, the two-time world champion, who's just doing a little half part-time season this year, won the overall Kenya Safari.
It was a Toyota 1-2.
Exactly, it was a Toyota 1-2. Just a couple quick notes on the Rally Safari in Kenya, or Safari Rally in Kenya. It's been around since 1953, and it's known to be one of the toughest rally stages
Is it
on the
because
season.
of track degradation? And oh no, it's usually also in the rain season.
Exactly.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah. So usually it happens during rain season. They said they had at the service park, they had encountered rain, but overall, this rally has been the driest it's been in a very, very long time.
I think the Saturday, like the few minutes that we
Mhm.
watched, you could see that the track was a little wet.
And they were talking about it
Mhm.
even that there in the earlier time that they drove that stage, there was standing water, but then in the afternoon when they got back to that stage, it had all dried because it is quite hot there, of course. So it was really cool to see. It was also really cool to see the how the track evolved. I mean, we've been joking about rutting or ruts in AMA Supercross, but it's such a real thing also in Safari because the track definitely changed a lot from the beginning of that stage to the end of it. So the times changed, of course. The ruts got deeper. And it also, I mean, it just shows, it makes a difference whether or not you start, or if you're starting first, or if you're starting further in the back, whether if it's gravel like this one, it might make it a little bit more tricky. Other surfaces, it might be better if you start a little bit later. So it matters. But there's only so much you can do about it because, of course, in rally, it's based on your placement in the current.
So sometimes it's beneficial and sometimes it's not,
Exactly.
right?
So this time it wasn't quite as
Mhm.
beneficial just because of the track degradation, I would say.
Yeah, and you can see, especially like the later guys, they ended up for that day.
Mhm.
Actually, especially the first stint
Mhm.
of the stage, they ended up losing a lot of time,
Mhm.
and then making up more time towards the second and third portion
Yes.
of the stage.
Mhm.
However, I will say like Kalle was insanely quick. Yes, he did lose some time,
Yes.
but he lost the least amount of time, and he was the last one to go. So
Yes.
he is crazy fast.
Yeah, I wish we could have seen his like full
Mhm.
season when
Last
he
year,
or the
yeah.
last 2 seasons where he had won, because I mean it's really cool to see.
Mhm.
I want to give a shout out also to Katsuta Takamoto, the Japanese driver who came in second with his partner Johnston Aaron from Ireland. Because I mean, it was just also nice to hear that the commentators were saying that they're both so well liked by
Mhm.
everybody, that they're both very like grounded and gentlemen and just passionate about it. So it's really also
Passionate about the sport, right?
exactly. It's really, really cool to hear that.
I will also say it's really cool if you watch like all these different types of motorsports.
Mm-hmm.
You see also all these different types of like countries that are more representative in certain sports
Yes.
and others. Like
Mhm.
in World Rally Championship, we have so many like Finnish racers, Scandinavian
mhm.
racers, but you also have some like you have people from like all different types of over the world. And it's
Yes.
kind of awesome that because you don't see those guys maybe in other sports like
Mhm.
in F1 and stuff like that. It's very Eurocentric, obviously,
Yes.
and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see just like different countries and
Yes.
different people competing.
I agree. I also wanted to give a shout out to Jordan Serdaridis. He's a Greek driver, and apparently he's a privateer that competes. Last year, he had retired, quote unquote, during the last race or during his last race in Greece, and then he decided to come back, and he was all smiley, which was so nice. He's just like he just really enjoyed it, and he's like, yeah, it's a way for me to get away from like work and like private life and just like change my mind about things.
He's like Kimmy. Racing is a hobby.
Yeah, literally. I mean, he's not racing full time, so he just came here for the Kenya race, and then they were like, "Oh, will you be back?" And he's like, "I don't know yet," but they're like, "Okay, he'll be back."
Yeah, he's hungry.
But also, like, what a flex that you can just like show up at rally and you have the money and things to participate in it.
And he didn't do badly. He came in the top 10, right?
Yeah.
He finished 9th
Yeah.
together with his partner.
Uh-huh.
So that's really awesome.
Yes, yeah, it was really, really cool to see. And it was also cool to see the differences between WRC 2 and 1. Also just the speed, the time difference. You could really tell by the sand that billowed up behind them, what a difference it made. And I also wanted to give a shout out to the WRC 2 winner, Gus Greensmith from England. He ended up winning the WRC 2 Kenya rally. You missed that part because he had just stepped away, but he had been suffering a kind of like like a stomach flu or something of the sort. So he was like severely dehydrated on Saturday. That was the nice way by the commentator. And then Gus, during his like post-race interview, he was like, I was just really glad I didn't shit myself.
Yeah, fair though, because like if you have stomach stuff, like the best
Oof.
place to be is at home.
Yeah, seriously. But then he ended up winning.
Yeah, I mean honestly,
that's
he just had to
really
really use the
impressive.
restroom, so he was like, I'm gonna
He's
put
like,
the
"Let me
pedal
get
to the
this
metal.
over with."
Yeah, so that was. I will say
Yeah.
also big shout out to the helicopter pilots.
Yes,
Um,
so impressive.
The shots that you get in rally in general, not just Kenya, is absolutely insane. And sometimes they catch the helicopter in the back of a like ground camera, and it's like the helicopter is in Fast and Furious. It's like. It's insane.
It's
so
really, really cool to see.
as a props to the camera people in the
Yes.
helicopter and the one piloting that one. Very, very impressive. Really good job. So Rally does a great job in broadcasting, but the app side of it.
Ugh, horrendous. Even the commentators, they're fantastic. They share some like really informative information, but
Absolutely.
they're really also funny to listen to and stuff. So yeah, it's really just the app that is just really tough to maneuver and to be able to or enable us to watch rally.
Yeah, why make it so hard? If you're fans?
Seriously. And it just every time we watch, because as of right now we've only watched like individual stages, but it really makes me want to watch like a full rally weekend, like all of the stages. I mean, which is a lot, which is like 16 plus hours of racing that you would essentially have to watch. So we would have to have like a week off almost to watch it. But I'm definitely committed that I would like to do that one of these days, like watch a full So maybe if you fix the app, you'll make our life easier so we can watch
Or
it.
if you guys have a recommendation for a past race or stage that was such a like incredible event to watch,
Oh,
let us know in the comments and we'll do that, because they do have past races and
Yes.
stuff like that on the rally app or on the website, whatever, Rally TV. So if you guys have any recommendations, let us know,
Yes,
because I'm open
please.
to also watch something that's a little bit older, but if it's cool, I'll watch it. I don't
yes,
care.
it's cool.
You know, that's me.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so those are the things that we watched this weekend, part 2. But we also wanted to cover quickly what is coming up this weekend. We're going into April now, so there's lots on the calendar. Do you want to kick us off?
Yes, I'm going to kick us off actually with we have some karting coming up.
Yes.
The FIA World. No, sorry, the FIA Karting European Championship.
Yes.
Sorry, I skipped one. Is starting this week, round 1 in Italy, and really, really cool. You can, of course, watch it for free on YouTube, which is awesome. Maybe not by the time you're watching this, but on April 3rd, our racing calendar will come up for the month, so you can see everything that you can watch it when it's on, where you can watch it. No, what you can watch, when you can watch, and where you can watch it. I don't know my own slogan.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so definitely keep an eye out. We'll also post it in the community tab on YouTube, just so you know that it's up. You will have links in there, like you said, to the individual series and also to the streaming platforms as much as we can find them. So you can watch it along with us or find out what you want to watch over the weekend. So yeah, like you said, there's karting happening this weekend. There's Rally Raid Championship happening this weekend from Spain.
Formula 1.
There's Formula 1 in Japan happening this weekend.
And then, very important, the GT America Challenge is happening, and we are both attending.
Yes.
We're flying out to Northern California, and we're gonna be attending the GT America Challenge. We got a weekend pass. It was very, very cheap.
Yeah, super
and
affordable.
At the time this video comes up, you can still get tickets. They're right now on sale. So absolutely, if you are either in Northern California or you can make it to Northern California, it's at the Sonoma track, and very, very exciting. It is round 1, I believe, of the GT World Challenge America. So that is happening this weekend, and if you can't watch it live, you can watch it, of course, for free.
Yes, exactly. So definitely check that out. There's also just a couple more shout outs. There's also NASCAR happening this weekend, the Craftsman Truck Series, the Xfinity Series. So NASCAR is going to be back, as well as we have some drag racing happening. We have the Ferrari Challenge happening.
We have endurance racing on the Nürburgring happening.
Yes.
So any type of racing you want to watch, you can watch it this weekend.
So there's going to be plenty for you guys to watch, plenty for free to watch.
Oh yeah, Ferrari Challenge Japan, you can watch that for free.
Exactly. So yeah, so definitely keep an eye out for our schedule that will be coming out shortly. And then in the future, just for you to earmark that, we're going to make also have a little bit more of in-depth website to follow along all the different series and everything. But for now, definitely the calendar will come up shortly with all the links for you to watch it, just to make it a little bit easier, because it can be so difficult to find all that information out there. So we want to just create an easy hub for you guys to find racing for you to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so let us know in the comments down below. What did you watch?
Yes.
What should we be watching? What are you watching?
Yes.
You know, just
talk to us. We want to chat with you guys.
Exactly. And then, as always, like and subscribe, and we will be seeing you guys tomorrow at the Daily Racing Show.